everybody. I'm Lara Trump coming to you from Studio 45 at Trump Tower in New York City. As attacks on President Trump intensify, Democrat leaders are giving Black Americans more and more reasons to support Donald Trump in 2020. Joining me is the host of the Candace Owens Show and the author of a new book due out in February titled Blackout, Candace Owens. Candace, welcome back.
I'm so happy to be back.
Yes, there's no shortage of Candace Owens out there for us. You are working overtime. You're doing so much great work out there. And you really have come such a long way in such a short period of time. Recently, you got to introduce the president at the White House. Let's take a look.
President Trump views us as Americans. And the answer, of course, to that question is that we had absolutely nothing to lose from taking a chance on him. And now we're winning. We want Trump. We want the victor narrative. We want opportunities. We want to be viewed as Americans first and foremost. And you know, I rarely give him credit, but maybe former President Barack Obama said it best in his Harvard Law School paper when he wrote, "The American dream is to be like Donald Trump."
Okay, I've never actually heard that.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Wow. Well, there's a lot to talk about there, but just tell me, what was that like to be able to introduce the president at the White House?
You know, I was just completely humbled by the opportunity, and I can't even say it was a dream come true because I never dreamed that. You know, I just kept going, and like I said, when the president asked that important question, Black America, what do you have to lose?
Yeah.
That was my wake-up call. We were losing. You know, I'm a girl who came from absolutely nothing. You know that. My family has absolutely nothing. And I'm supposed to be afraid of taking a chance on somebody who's offering a victor narrative as opposed to a victim narrative. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I'm sure something that you'll never forget. And obviously, the president, I'm sure, was thrilled to have you there. You have been doing such a great job out there. Blexit is your movement that you started. Black Americans exiting the Democrat Party. It's really picked up momentum. Tell me a little bit about what's going on with that.
To be honest, I have the easiest job in the world. I go around and people are like, what's the secret? So many Black people are questioning their allegiance to the Democrat Party. How did you do it? I told the truth.
Imagine
Imagine telling the truth. But I also had a president behind me who wasn't going to back down to these vicious smears of calling him a racist. I mean, this is the only president that when somebody on the left or a liberal says you're a racist, a liberal politician, he goes, no, you're a racist. Look what you did to your cities.
Right.
Look what you did to the inner cities. This is real racism.
Yeah.
And he's correct, and we needed that. We needed someone with the backbone and someone with the spine. And the Blexit movement just tells people simply, vote your values. I'm not telling you, what are your actual values? I'm not telling you to be conservative or liberal. Well, Black Americans, we believe in God first and foremost, right? We're a very faithful community. We want our families put back together. That makes us conservative. That makes us people that are going to stand behind this president.
And to contrast that, you actually just touched on it a few minutes ago, the Democrats have continued to offer this victimization mentality, a victim mentality to Black Americans, to minorities all across this country. I mean, is that really their only shot at retaining power? What is with that victim mentality? Why do they do that?
Well, I think it really goes back to the 1960s when they tore apart our families and they offered us handouts and they offered us, welfare. And you can see that it's completely deteriorated our communities entirely.
Yeah.
And they know that once you destroy the family and you leave people with no faith, you can grow government, right? Because they believe in nothing else. You don't have your families. You don't believe in God. So they turn to the government to help them out. I always say this, what the Democrats took away from Black America first and foremost was our sense of pride. And pride comes from waking up every morning and knowing that you're contributing to a society.
Right.
And that is what the president is restoring, right? Here are your jobs. You don't need government handouts. You need opportunities. And I absolutely love that about this president.
Yeah, no, it's amazing to see what he's been able to do in such a short period of time. But that's why, Candace, I think the Democrats are desperate at this point. They know leading into 2020 that there is basically no hope for any of their terrible, lackluster candidates to have a shot at beating Donald Trump. So now what do we see happening? We see the impeachment hoax going on. I mean, first we started with the Russian collusion. Then they tried to oust Brett Kavanaugh. Michael Cohen they tried to drag out.
Ukraine collusion.
So now, here we are, this impeachment nonsense, this coup that they're trying against the president is the latest tactic. But I think that no matter what they try to do, Americans are probably more concerned with the fact that they have more money in their pocketbooks and their wallets, that they have, a better situation going forward in life for them now. They're more optimistic. They have a president who's fighting for them as opposed to backing down and cowering to countries all across the world. What are your thoughts on this impeachment nonsense, and how do you think Americans are going to react as we go towards 2020?
I love the calls for impeachment personally because it's the left overplaying their hand. This is why they lost in 2016.
Yeah.
This is why they're going to lose in 2020. They're so desperate that they're basically saying, let's just erase 2016. Let's pretend the American people never voted. And what they're doing is they're revealing how crazy and how desperate they are. And more Americans are waking up, even if they had been on the left. And
Yeah.
they were on this crazy bandwagon. They're going, whoa, whoa, whoa. We started at Russian collusion. We were blaming Facebook ads. Now you're telling me Ukraine collusion, which is weird because Russia and Ukraine are at war with one another. He couldn't have been colluding with both of them because the answer is he was colluding with neither of them, right?
Right.
So I love when they do this. I love when they say racism, 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 because now Black America's tired of people saying racism.
It's like the boy who cried wolf. I say that all the time.
It's the boy who cried wolf. So more of it. Keep being crazy. Keep being ridiculous, because it really shows to America that this president is stable. He's a stable force. He has been consistent, and it's going to drive more people to his camp.
Yeah, the instability we see coming from the other side, in fact. I think they look very unsure whenever it comes to who's the leader. Is Nancy Pelosi the Speaker of the House? Is AOC the Speaker of the House? Who's really controlling the party? The strings behind the scenes. A lot of people want to know that. But as we're looking towards 2020, we see what the Democrats are offering. They're offering things like socialism and full government assistance for everything, full government takeover of every part of your life. And you contrast that with a president who's been able to deliver results. Let's take a look at this.
But the First Step Act proved that we can achieve amazing breakthroughs when we come together as a nation and we put the interests of our citizens before the interests of any political party. Since we passed this landmark legislation, 10 states have followed our lead and passed legislation that takes critical steps to advance criminal justice reform at the state level. We gave it a beautiful stepping stone. And some states have come and they've really taken it to a level that you'd be very proud of. And it's only because of what we did that they were able to do it legally and in many other ways.
So, Candace, isn't the First Step Act a great example of how this president, Donald J. Trump, is restoring Black America?
Absolutely. And it's not just one example. There are many examples when he talks about having the lowest ever unemployment. People don't realize how big that is for Black America.
Right.
Ever in the history of America.
Yes.
We've never seen this many minorities on their feet and working and restoring their sense of confidence that they lost to these left-leaning policies. So the list really goes on. And I think the biggest thing that he's doing is he's reminding minority America that we are not separate from the American dream. We're a part of it. So we have to stop letting the left tell us that it's any different.
Yeah, and that's what he does every single day. You're right. We really appreciate everything you do to support this country and back our great president. So thank you for all you do, and thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
As the Democrats attack, more Black voters are finding reasons to Blexit and back a real winner. That's the real news for today. I'm Laura Trump from Studio 45 at Trump Tower in New York City. Thanks for joining us, everybody.